Welcome to Stayf Draws. I'm Stayf, a Dutch artist, and in this video I'm going to do a study of a walk cycle animation in Procreate Dreams. For the walk cycle I'm going to use this book, which is called Animated Cartoons by E.G.Lutz, and I'm going to page 123. And there you see a movement of a walk cycle, and I imported this walk cycle into Procreate and made an animation out of it, and that animation we're going to import into Procreate Dreams and then do the study of the walk cycle. I also leave a link to the movie file so you can import it into Procreate Dreams and follow along. Now I'm going to Procreate Dreams and I'm gonna select a new file and just choose empty, and I have a link to the video so that you can also import it. What you have to do is go to the plus sign and then add a video. I'm gonna add this video and I'm going to rescale it. Already made some guidelines so that you can, draw your own character. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my own character, Horus Hippo, to do this walk cycle. So this is the walk cycle, and for the animation we're going to do, I'm going to add a new track and draw it on top. And I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger, the timeline, and just analyze the animation. I've made a video about the book Animated Cartoons by E.G.Lutz, and I'll leave a link below this video. There I review the entire book. I also leave a download to the ebook or the PDF, so you can download the book yourself. So you see in this walk that the head, because I've made a guideline for the head and a guideline for the feet so that everything stays in place. And in this position the head is a little bit higher than the guideline, and when he walks down it goes below the guideline. So I'm first going to start out with sketching Horus Hippo, and I'm using the Derwent. I like this pencil a lot because when you draw with it, I'm just going to drag down the layer so that you're in the flipbook mode. When you use your Apple Pencil sideways, you have a broader stroke, and when you want to do more precise drawing, just tilt your Apple Pencil. So I'm first going to draw the first pose with Horus Hippo. Always draw with circles, and Horus Hippo is made up of 3.5 circles. And I need to scale this. Then you have to go to the main timeline and then move and scale. Then you can scale up your drawing. Unfortunately, there's no selection tool yet. Maybe they will do that in a new version of Procreate Dreams. I'm going back to the drawing mode, and I like, drawing in the flipbook mode because then you have a lot more screen estate. And it's on a side profile, so just first going to draw Horus Hippo. And, if you have your own character, use that character to animate this. It's just a practice and to see if, the animation of E.G.Lutz still hold up today. And he has a big circle for his belly. And important is that you keep the same volume. That's why I'm using the circles. Jacket. And I'm going to use the movement of the hand. That's also a circle. And this is kind of rough. Later on you can, go over it again and define your lines in the cleanup. And after that you can ink it. Horus Hippo has very short feet. Here's the contact. And it's done on 2s because you have to hold each frame for one more frame. Because the original animation is 12 frames per second. Now we're on 24 frames per second. And here's his little tail. And you see the back of the arm. So this is the first pose. I always, like to draw it in total. And then go to the next frame. The character I'm drawing in this study is Horus Hippo, and I've made a graphic novel about the history of Horus Hippo. And he's a lost cartoon star from the 1920s, and in this book I'm going to delve a lot more into the history of Horus Hippo. And the book also has a flip book and also the history of Horus Hippo, and it's available on Amazon, and I'll leave links below this video. I'm going to the timeline to make the frame 2 frames long, and now we're at the next pose. Now the feet goes up, and the body goes down. You see here that the head goes below the guideline. And because I'm working with circles, I can easily move it lower. And you always have to be careful not to, draw everything. Just keep it rough. So this is a little bit lower. The feet go up. And this leg just goes behind. And the back arm shows a little bit more. Just going to draw a circle for the hand, just to place it. And the front arm just goes up here. Always good, to check your drawing. Going to the main timeline to hold this drawing and then go to the next frame. You see that the bar even goes lower. And it's always, good practice, to go back to animation history, how things were done back then. And you're never too young or too old, to learn. I've been doing a lot of animation, but never hand-drawn animation, so frame for frame. So I'm also, learning from studying from the old books. And if it's good enough for Walt Disney, it's good enough for you. Because he also studied, he borrowed this book, animated cartoons, from E.G.Lutz when he was at the Lafograms studio in Kansas City. This goes a little bit lower, even. The back leg really stretches out. And the back arm is shown more. So the position is up here. And the front feet is pointing down a little bit more. Or it's the back leg, actually. And the front arm is now really stretched out, so goes a little bit further. And if you have your own character, you just need to translate the design of your character to this animation. So go to the next frame and just check them. Now the leg is going down. And the head is going up a little bit. So it's near the guideline or on the guideline. And this is also a good practice, you know, if you have a character and you really want to learn the anatomy of your character, just do animation, because then you can draw them in all kinds of poses. And it just, you know, takes time to do hand-drawn animation. So if you don't like drawing, then animation is not for you. You know, when I'm using the Derwent, and now it's a little bit more with volume and sketchy, and that's what I like about this pencil. It's also in Procreate, but you can also use it in Procreate Dreams. And this leg is lifted up a little, goes way back. And the front hand is going back. So what walks, that's always, you know, opposite of what the legs are doing. The arms are opposite of the legs. And this is going back again behind the body. Going back to the main timeline to add a keyframe. And now I see that it's just floating. So I'm gonna change the position with move and scale. And see if it still, you know, holds up. And just do it rough in the beginning, and later on with the cleanup, you know, you can clean up the lines and the details of your drawings. This is contact pose, because there's contact and the character is highest. Horus Hippo also has a little fez, and later on I'm going to, because he also has this little thing on it. I'm not sure what it's called, but that will have some secondary actions. This up. And You have to keep the volume the same. That's why I'm drawing everything with circles. This is now touching the ground, the back leg. And the front leg is lifted up. The hand is going the opposite direction. You can see that the volume isn't right for Horus Hippo. But you can change that later in the cleanup. Now the front leg is going up. And the back leg goes back. Now you can see the tail of Horus Hippo again. Double the drawing. Go to the next frame. Front leg is kicking to the front. The back leg is way up here. It's bending a little bit. It's actually the same you did in the frames before, but now the legs are switched. The arms are switched. There weren't that many books around at that time. I think there were two other books about animation, and I just have to find them. And before that, there were the photographs of Muybridge, who photographed a lot of animals in motion. And maybe in the next video, I'm just going to go over one of these studies, because they used them a lot for animation in that era. And now the back arm or the back hand is coming up here. Just an indication. And now the body is coming down a little. The reason why the characters from the 20s and the 1930s were drawn this simple is because of a time limit. And when you animate with circles, you know, it's easier to animate. Now this leg is really in front. You know, and this is what I really love about doing hand-drawn animation, is to see your drawings come to life. Front arm is going to the back. And the back leg even further to the back. Just check the animation of what we're having now. And we got a few more frames to go. So it's 3 more frames. Head is a little bit lower. The back leg is really stretching out. And the front leg is way up. And the back arm is really stretching out here. And this is the opposite. Now the body is going forward a little. The front arm is coming back in position. And the back arm is also coming back. And the front leg is now stretching out to hit the ground. And now the last position. Head's going back. Again, it's a little bit higher. The front leg now has contact with the ground. And the back leg is not touching the ground. It's up in the air. Front arm is going back, forward. I don't like it here, so I need to erase it. And now we can watch the entire animation. It's 22 frames. And it's now flickering because the first drawing I painted black. So this animation E.G.Lutz drew in 1920, still holds up for a walk. And you can still apply it to your animation. Also leave a link to the PDF of the book. It's available on the Internet Archive, and I also made a review about the book with all the animations that were in that book. I'll leave a link below this video. So when you're satisfied with the rough animation, then you go to a new track and drawing the details, and maybe use another track to do the cleanups, and on another track you can do the ink and colors of the animation. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit that notification bell, because each time I upload a new video you get a notification. Drawing is fun and practice makes perfect. See you next time. Doodles!